we are getting there. And we are in, and it's going to be... Yeah, I don't really need to turn off the chat this time around, because of course we are, or rather they are just streamers spectating this time around. Otherwise, yeah, it's not really mute. You need to use chat off. You need to use chat off, as we are really on the islands exactly as expected in here. They are not going to be saying anything to chat, because of course, why, when there's nobody else spectating than us, the streamers, as I said a bit before. And looking at the map, it seems to be spawned quite alright. There are going to be some extra islands in the middle, and they are quite evenly placed, not really any kind of problem. Gold and stone on each of them. And this one actually is having a lot of wood. Yeah, this is actually going to be the most important one if the game goes like 1 hour plus, because this supply of wood line, yeah, well, that will be a pretty big game changer. Looking at the civilizations in the meantime, as we are looking at Mio as the Japanese, that's going to be him, Japanese, Vikings, Huns, and Mongols. Oh, there is a switch. CZs are Vikings, Japanese, and Huns, and Saracens. So Mongols versus Saracens. And considering that actually Nikov is taking the Mongols, you could be thinking that actually Mongols will be stronger. But with the Saracens exit, I'm kind of thinking he's going to be aiming for fast castle and fast fire ships. That's usually what you do on islands when you are having Saracens. Or maybe you do it with Byzantines especially, but with Saracens, why not? I think it could be working as well. It might not be the bad choice either. And looking who is actually flanking with pocket. So Mio is apparently pocket. That's going to be Japanese pocket. That's very nice for Argentinians. FedEx is also pocket as Hans. This time around it's not really that crucial. But what is important is actually Sinside as the Viking is on the flank. And it's going to be very important for him. And he's going to be facing against Exit as the Saracen. Okay, so that might be a bit of an advantage for him. And a bit of a problem if, of course, Exit wants to go for the faster castle. Because this guy, this Viking, is going to be making this life very difficult indeed. Otherwise, for CZ Skull is a Japanese also pocket. Definitely nice to see for them. And, well, otherwise, Han is going to be in the pocket also. And on the other side, it's going to be flank as the Viking Yannick, who is going to be having a bit of fun against Nikov, who is playing Mongols. In this case, I'm, of course, going to be favoriting Yannick with the Vikings in there. So let's see if he's going to be able to punish Nikov for the first dominant game or not. Definitely curious about that, as, of course, Nikov is already using the idle time to get up all those deer next to the TC so that he doesn't have to mill or whatnot. That would be definitely something he doesn't want to do on a water map. Gold, well, I'm just right now looking at it. If they happen to lose the water in Imperial Age from Galleon, it will be under fire. That should be close enough for that. Otherwise, the second gold is even worse. You can see from the top that would be very easily targeted. And let's check all the other players, how they are looking with those mines. This time for FedEx it seems to be quite alright. This one could be problematic a bit later, but this one gold mine is going to be quite alright. Mio is having save gold. Second one problematic in Imperial Age, I'm thinking. This is going to be targetable from the bottom. Problematic gold right now for Sinside in here. And where's the second one? Ah, in here. Yeah, that's pretty safe. It's not really any kind of problem, the same as with the stones in there. Stones also safe as we are moving on to the other player on the other team with Exit, and definitely unsafe gold, and both of them. This is a horrible gold for him, considering that, of course, he's going to be facing on top of that the Viking in there. So that's a bit of a problem for him, and otherwise, yeah, not really going to do that because they wish to not be having more spectators than this. They want to be having a calm game. So gold number 2 is going to be, at least for the feudal age, kind of okay for him. And otherwise, yeah, he can just tell you the password. There's no reason why I should be actually getting you in. Let him just tell you the password and that's it. Not really sure what's the problem in there. But yeah, they are also having actually typed it in the information for the game that they need to ask Tatok actually for the password. But yeah, just now going around the corner in here as the first few villages are going to be coming in from Nikov and Yannick. Well, Nikov coming quite fast with 18 villages, Yannick with 19, so he's having the one more. That's a bit of a difference in there. And then, of course, it's going to be FedEx, Mios inside. Wow, all advancing quite faster than CZ. So actually, are CZs going to be concentrating on castle ages? Well, the pockets should be. The pockets should be, but I'm kind of confused why they are really advancing that late. CZs 19, 21, 22, 21. They are having a bit more villages, so they are going for a bit greedier build. But of course, it's greedier, but it might be considered also stronger. Nice gold for Yannick. The second one is potentially going to be a bit problematic a bit later. But then, yeah, well. Problematic gold from both sides, and the one at the bottom, yeah, that's safe. Okay, so the only one who's going to be having a significant issue with gold, I think, is going to be Exit, because this is definitely going to be sucky for him, especially since he's probably going to be losing the water in the early stage. But yeah, since he's probably gonna go into some, I don't know, at this stage I'm really not sure. He probably hoped that he would be in the pocket and going for faster castle, but at this stage he's probably gonna be forced into a flank fighting. But against the Vikings, it's going to be, yeah, probably lost battle already, especially at this stage of the tournament and this level of gameplay. So I'm not really sure if it's going to be working for him if he opts to do so. So far he's going to be having the docks at the back, exactly as expected, because he knows that he wants to be protecting his economy as long as possible and make it as difficult as possible for his opponent to harass him. In the meantime, of course, Nikov is not afraid of anything at all. Even as a Mongol building a front dock, he doesn't know that he's against, of course, the Viking, but he's going to be seeing that pretty soon. But in the meantime, Belgrade has been building himself at the bottom, which is what you would be expecting from the Viking flank. Exactly as happened, for example, by Sin's side on the right side. Otherwise, Green is going to be apparently going to be fighting in the fuel age as well. Building all the docks in the front, not really wanting to make use of the corner in there for better economy. And all Argentinians are actually going front. That's interesting. They are really thinking that they could be actually closing the game through some feudal age battling. And almost looks like that the only one aiming for proper fast castle is going to be Skull. He's advancing the latest with 24 villages, even though it's not really that great. Usually go with like 27 or 31, or about 30 plus, to go when you are aiming for fast castle, but it's not happening. And they should be realizing that these golds are going to be a lot of an issue a bit later. Error trying to hide away from from those bows, but apparently that's not going to be that easy for him. And considering that Ferex is quite fast joining with his ally, this is definitely not looking all that great from Yannick, because he's so far all alone. And it doesn't seem like that even Error would be fighting with him all that much. He's just now going to be coming there. But the very late advances from CZs, they are probably going to be coming back to buy them. As this is so far not really working for them all that well. Yeah, this is just basically ownage. Total ownage. And Yannick losing absolutely everything. And since on water, the numbers mean everything as well. This is looking quite grim for CZ and very well for Argentina, because of course they are the one applying the pressure. In the meantime, Skull is going to be able to at least repel Mio, so that's about it for him. But at the same time, Mio also scouting around Orange and trying to find something that he could be killing with Exit. But Exit is on top of things, going to be scouting through the bottom as well, and hoping that he's going to be even enough to deal with Mio and maybe potentially even Sinside, who is in there as well as the Viking. And yep, right now it's going to be up to Skull to help him as well. Yeah, it was a bit of a flaring by Sinside actually, that they should be aiming into the pocket player in there. They are doing a pretty great job in here, in the middle. Going to be catching off guard CZs yet again. Whereas next to Yannick, who was already forced to build his docks, rather to build his ships into his docks, he is under heavy pressure from Nikov, and Nikov is absolutely owning him. Absolutely owning him, even though he is fighting a Viking with a Mongol. But it has to be said, he did receive an assistance from Ferex in the early game, which definitely helped, and it's going to be right now very hard for Error to join, because he was just a bit too late. Just a bit too late. And this is exactly what Argentinians wanted. They are going to be hard dividing Yannick and Error, and that will mean that they will be basically masters of the waters. As right now Yannick is going to be putting a stop to that, hopefully. If you are a fan of Czech team, and if you are for Argentinians, yeah, well, definitely you will be hoping that this is not going to be enough to stop what Nikov is doing. This is going to be quite tricky battlefield though for both. And I'm thinking at this stage, especially for Yannick, because he's going to be fighting right next to opponent's docks, which means that the reinforcements are coming in close, and it also means that Nikov doesn't have to retreat from the battles all that much. He doesn't need to worry about really losing units in there, and that is bad news for Yannick, who is trying to somehow claw his way back into the game. At the same time, we have seen a bit of a battle at the top where Exit is trying to find a way to help his teammate. But even though this is going to be enough to be actually dealt with through the army of Skull and Exit, the second reinforcement in here coming from the bottom, that's a bit too much, and this is not a battle that CZ should be really taken at all, and they definitely won't be. Yeah, just now trying to run away and be safe in there. Yeah, well, a bit too big numbers for CZ to actually handle this, so they are probably going to be retreating all the way around the island. It's going to be pretty hard to get some numbers up, because of course Miho is still sending everything in, and he's going to be doing what he can to help his teammate, as of course on the left we are just seeing the confirmation of the pretty tough situation for Yannick and for Error as well. And even though Error is just now arriving in here, this is kind of going to be all about the fact if somehow Argentinians can catch their opponents off guard for a 2 versus 1. If they can eliminate the armies by 2 times 2 versus 1, it's going to be working. But if CZs can basically force them into one big battle and win it, then they might be coming victorious still. Oh, yeah, there was a bit of an attempted landing. That was a bad luck for Nikov. He was actually hoping that he can be already landing Yannick and basically stop him, but apparently not. He's already ready with the army of his own, and he was hoping that it's going to be working, but yeah, not really. And right now, Error with Yannick know what to actually take care of. And of course, this build-up of all those buildings and all those arches means that Nikov wasn't building all that many boats, which will result, of course, in a bit of an advantage potentially for CZs if they can take it. If only they can take it. In the meantime, on the right side, the water battle is still going exactly as where we left it. Going quite alright for the opponents, as there are, of course, all the for the opponents of CZ Khan, as all the galleys are just all around the island, and we are just nearing the time when this is going to be becoming a problem. It's already a problem now, apparently. Yeah, he's already able to shoot there, and these goals, this is just going to be forcing a GG from him pretty soon, I'm afraid. There's absolutely no way to get rid of this. And all they need to do right about now, I'm thinking, Argentinians, is just basically camp next to the gold mine and make sure that Exit doesn't have gold. And it's going to be pretty much it there. In the meantime, the battle on the left is going forward, as Nikov with FedEx are retreating. As this landing attempt was a nice idea, but it backfired pretty badly, because, as I said a bit before, it meant that no new boats were coming from Nikov from those docks, and he has wasted quite a lot of time in there, potentially given a chance to CZs to reclaim the water. Let's see if they're going to be able to do that, as castle ages are coming in, 2 for Argentinians, 1 for CZs, but otherwise it's going to be Error and FedEx flowing as well, and Yannick also quite close behind. In the meantime, Mio just going to be coming for war guys and inside as well, which is just basically confirming that the left side is kind of alrightish for CZs. They've been able to claw their way back, but on the right, the situation is absolutely disastrous for CZs, and Argentinians are absolutely owning the water in there. Absolutely owning it with all the war guys right now. Because even though Skull has them, he's right now going to be facing 2 of those, and it's time to retreat and wait for potentially Exit to advance as well, which is apparently not gonna be happening anytime soon. Let's switch into his... Oh, no, that's Error. Exit will be fairly soon. But with this Saki Island, I'm afraid, yeah, he's already been forced off the goal, and he's already lost a ton of villages, as you can see the skeletons in there. He is in an absolutely impossible situation just now, and he will need to be slunk or whatnot, and he's probably gonna need to sell a lot of resources as well. And it's probably going to be stone. This is going to be the only safe mine. This one at the top definitely isn't, and this is really getting quite bad for CZs in here. And landing finally succeeded, apparently, for Nikov. So this time it worked out. Oh, just wasn't able to stop it with villages coming in. That was a bit of a shame in here. He was just a bit too late and a bit too careless. Well, the TC seems to be going alright. With the siege actually coming up. And I'm thinking that's going to be all he needs to do. Because, of course, he's going to need just a bit of mangonels to be dealing with that. And this stage is kind of is kind of tricky, because he could be potentially really fighting it, but he will be losing a few villages in there, and much more importantly, he won't be gathering anything. It should be putting a stop to his galleys in there. But this tower is going to be a lot more problematic, because this next wood is still in there. Pretty good numbers of trees in there. But yeah, once the tower is up, the problems are just going to be starting. Especially with the castle age. So next we could be expecting a drop off siege workshop, exactly, and he's going to be continuing with the pressure in there. In the meantime, in the middle we are looking at some big battle where actually Ferex is joining into the middle and hoping to help his teammate basically resolve the battle altogether. Kill Skull and exit in full, as exit is just running around right now, being caught up with yellow as well, so he's going to be losing all of it. Just now going to castle age, almost made it through, but yeah, right now he's going to be losing all of it, trying to run through the opening, but of course he's going to be suffering heavy losses, and it's not like it at this stage makes all that much of a sense for him to run. Yeah, has to be said, he has basically lost the water already at this stage. There's not much of a chance that he could be coming back in some kind of strength, because of course Mio with Sinside are controlling the waters quite alright, especially with Ferex right now joining into the fun as well, and Skull might be repelling him, but it's going to be just a question of time before Mio is going to be able to help him in that and basically close the deal for them. In the meantime, a bit of fun right now also by Yannick, who is trying to control Nikov, trying to force him off the wood line, which is of course nice work by him. Nice work by him, but you mustn't forget that there is already a bit of a problem in Yannick's base as well, as he's facing Mangonel from his opponent, and well, it's going to be Mangonel better apparently here. Right now I'm just waiting if somebody is going to be trying to pick up some monks. I would be thinking that it would be not a bad idea for Nikov, because he could be stealing some of the villages to help him, and basically at the same time also strangle his opponent. So yeah, that would be that. Yep, villagers getting killed, 2 on edges, or rather Mangonels. And let's see if Yannick is going to be able to get some hit in. He's gonna surprise his opponent. Well, he's quite careful, because he of course sees quite a lot through his range, and that's gonna be attempt at this Mangonel or not. Oh yeah, nice hit, and he survived. And poor scout, he just got headshot in there. It is actually working quite alright for Yannick so far. Quite alright. Red Bull right now going to be helping him in there as well. But even though this could probably be going for Yannick, who's gonna get a good shot on the Mangonel. I just missed. Just missed it there. And this out from the boat is of course going to be quite enough, and those villagers are probably right now gonna be dead. Unless something totally unexpected happens, but the 3 Mangonels getting rid of the tower should be basically it for the shenanigans and the adventure of Nikov. But at the same time, it's going to be also the end of the water, probably for CZs on the left, because looking at the amount of galleys that FedEx is having, Error will probably be able to stop it, but looking how actually the Viking player hasn't been able to actually MS anything at all. He's basically out of the water altogether for some minutes already. It's not looking great for him. And yep. The water on the right. Interestingly enough, to be honest. Interestingly enough, not that clear as I would be thinking. So that definitely speaks highly to Czech's abilities in there to play. And they are still very much alive, even with Exit, who is having significant problems with the gold. And this is just a sloppy play, to be honest, by Argentinians. Just a sloppy play, because they need to camp a few boats in here, and Exit has nothing. They are basically just letting him live. And that's the problem that they are right now having with closing the game, because Skull and Exit are doing what they can to basically stall the game and hopefully give them some attempt and some chance at something happening. Yeah, maybe just some tricky landing could be going on. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be really putting it above inside. He's ready in the docks in interesting positions in there. We'll be thinking that maybe he's going to be attempting something like that. And in the meantime, in the base, wow, Yannick somehow didn't make it. And he has lost a ton of onages, or rather Mangonels. He's going to be losing more apparently. Well, this is a tough deal for him. He's gonna lose this. That was pretty bad. The Mangonels are still coming up, and Nikov apparently out-micro his opponent. That's exactly what happened in here. And considering that it was basically 3 versus 1. Yeah, well, that's curious. Oh, that hurt. That hurt in there. And finally, Monastery is going to be coming up, and he's going to be trying to steal at least a few villages from him, from his opponent, to help him in his efforts. Maybe even drop a castle or whatnot, not sure, but definitely could be happening in there. For that, he's not getting enough stone though. As FedEx is just now basically guarding the left side of the water, trying to help against blue, and he's going to be coming back to the stop to this raiding yet again. Yeah, some idle boats in there, actually quite a lot of them. That's actually quite a lot that could be helping in the battlefield at the bottom, as we are looking at some big battle at the top of the map, where Skull is trying to stop the onslaught of both Neo and Inside, and apparently it's not going to be successful. He will have to retreat from this position, as it's not really working for him. Skull himself advancing into Imperial Age, but Inside is just going to be there. Mio going to be having galleons in just a moment, and of course that will mean that the water will be coming for Argentinians even more, and right now GGs are finally being called. I'm saying finally because this game really looked like that Argentinians shouldn't be losing it for already about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes maybe even. And this was just very well played by Argentinians. Nice comeback by CZs on the left, because they basically punished the idea from Nikov. The first landing, that was the reason why they were able to push back, but the second landing was quite successful. And on the right, that was just plain win, with Inside and Mio against Exit with Skull. Well, the Vikings did prevail in there, whereas on the left, Yannick did what he could, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. The faster advances from Argentinians, that was probably the basis of their success, it seemed like, because they were everywhere just a bit faster, in just a bit bigger numbers, and that's exactly what you get when you advance a bit faster than your opponent. So that was really probably the most important stuff in the game. Okay, let's check the achievements. Sinside. Yeah, well, not sure, but yeah, he was... I think the whole duo of Sinside and Mio. I think the whole duo deserves the MVP of this match. Because they were really good. They were real good in the... unit skill, there you can see it in here. He was having the best skills. Good army. Felix was having more, but yeah, Felix wasn't really that important in there. He was just having the army in a bit of a decided state in there. But it's not like it counts all that much. Iseko from Inside. Overall, good villages, really. Good villages indeed. Okay, GG.